Okay.
Hi, and welcome to Conscious Conversations. I'm here today with Claire Gamble. Hi, Claire. Claire is with her doggy Bouncer, who is a mini Australian labradoodle. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, and I'm here with Jasmine, who is
Yeah,
our little Chihuahua mix. And we'll
sure.
just see how this goes. She was on here before when we had Mita talking with Cosmo, and sometimes she's very chilled and sometimes she's not. So we'll see what
Oh,
happens.
right, so come here. Come on, put yourself there.
So let's start with an angel prayer, and it's called Angel Prayers for Animal Companions.
Okay.
Guardian angels, Archangel Michael's protection, enfold Jasmine and Bouncer and all other animals within the safety and comfort of your wings. Surround her or him with your indigo blue cloak of protection. Infuse confidence, perseverance, and clarity of communion. Strengthen their spirit, enlighten their soul forevermore. Archangel Raphael's healing, enfold Jasmine and Bouncer and all other animals in your loving embrace. Infuse each cell with emerald green healing energy and violet transmuting flame to align complete and perfect health, unconditional love, and happiness. Guide my actions to support her or him, knowing God's healing energy makes Jasmine and Bouncer and all other animals safe, whole, and well now and for eternity. Amen.
Oh, amen. That's lovely.
Oh, Claire, I think we need you to move a little bit more into the center so that we can see you.
Sorry.
I know
How's
it's a
that?
bit,
Is that better?
that's much better. It's a bit crazy when we have the dogs with us, but hey, oh, that's better. We can see you now. I remember the day, in fact, the night that you brought Bouncer home because we spoke. I was in London and you were in Glasgow, and we spoke, and you were just looking at this dog and thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do?
I'm sure I called you in the first couple of weeks saying, have I done the right thing?
Yes, I remember, and I'd never had a dog at that point of my own, and this was the first one that you'd had. So, what was it that number one that made you get the dog and that breed of dog?
Well, for us, we first of all quite we had a notion for a Spanish water dog.
Oh,
Um, and again, because it doesn't shed. So I had made some inquiries and it was just really difficult to find a breeder.
mhm.
And then I just started Googling dogs that were similar to Spanish water dogs, like non-shedding, hypoallergenic. And then I came across Australian labradoodles
Mhm.
that were basically the breeding started in the 80s for hospitals. So they were hospital dogs.
Mhm.
Because of their nature and because they were hypoallergenic and they didn't shed, they were ideal for hospitals. So they started breeding them in the 80s in Australia, and that's how they started as a breed.
Mhm.
Um, so I found a breeder in Cooper in Fife,
Mhm.
and my husband and I went up actually with my mother-in-law Hilly.
Uh-huh.
Um, we went up and we thought, okay, we'll go and see the breeder. You had to make an appointment. She has to meet you and make sure you're a suitable family for her dogs, for her
Mhm.
puppies.
Mhm.
So we went up to Cooper and Fife. I had no idea what to expect. Sat in a room with a few other families, and then she brought the mums and the daddy dogs in one by one to meet potential families. And this one dog called Bouncer
Uh-huh.
literally came in the door and headed straight for me,
Oh,
put his paws up on my lap and looked straight into my eyes with the biggest smile, and I burst out crying.
oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
And I said to Nick, I want a bouncer because this
Oh.
little dog's name was Bouncer. We decided there and then to sign up and go on the waiting list, and it turns out that the breed that were delivered were red in colour, the same as Bouncer.
Mhm.
And I asked the breeder for permission. Can I call my puppy Bouncer?
Uh-huh.
Um, and it turns out that Bouncer that I met is my Bouncer's grandfather.
That's so awesome.
I
And you have
know.
been on such a journey from not knowing what to do when you had this wee dog like land in your living room to now. I've watched how you've trained him and how you've just
Mhm,
really set this routine for him, and the two of you are so
mhm.
close. And it's amazing. How do you feel about the whole from the beginning to now and how you've grown as a doggy owner?
Amazing, because at first I had no clue. So I relied on the internet. I mean, I used to use the puppy pads, but I used to use them every time Bouncer weed once on a puppy pad. I would bin the puppy pad when
Mhm.
actually then I realised that you could pee up to 10 times on a puppy pad.
Oh,
So I was going
wow.
through, I was going through so many puppy pads. Um, and then I was recording his pees every day, so I had spreadsheets and I had no idea what I was doing. And
That is
I,
so I have to just say that's so funny because Jasmine is such a princess that once she has peed on her potty pad, like she doesn't do it on the potty pad that often because she's really
uh-huh,
well trained and she'll go out and she'll let us know when she wants to go outside. But
yeah,
I was also doing that when we first got her. I was timing it, and every 2 hours I was taking her out. But we put down potty pads, and even to this day, she's going to be 2 in January. If she's soiled her potty pad once, she will not use it again. She won't go on it
really,
again.
you're a
Yeah.
princess.
Yeah, she wants a brand new one. So
That's so
funny.
nice. So cute. So yeah, I mean it's hard work when you don't know what you're doing, but it's just a joy. I just love him to bits. We all do. He's just a
Oh,
little member of our family.
he's so
I
it
really love
is
him.
it it's
Mhm.
like that. They become a member of your family. Like it's your son, it's my daughter. That's
Mhm.
what it is. It's
I know.
amazing. Where is he?
Little
Let's
fur-
see. Is he beside you?
I'll go and get him. He's actually going to his bed. Stay there.
Bouncer's gone to his bed.
Don't move.
Can you hear? Can you
See,
hear?
behind
Look, it's
his
Bouncer. Can you see on the screen? Can you
camera.
see? She'll always look anywhere but the screen. Jasmine, that's Bouncer. Hmm. Good girl. Were you ever scared of dogs?
Um, I just didn't know how to behave around them. So we never had dogs growing up. So I
Mhm.
never knew how to be around them. So yeah, I suppose now I'm much more confident with any dog that I meet.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I wasn't scared. No, I wasn't scared.
I definitely had one really scary experience when my sister and I were in Bali. We were walking back to our bungalow, and these dogs
Uh-huh.
were like barking and growling, and I could feel them licking the back of our legs. And I was so terrified. I was so scared. And I just thought, oh my goodness, like we were really like they could have rabies. We don't even know what to do here. We were both walking side by side in front of these dogs that were growling at the back of our legs. And I said, walk really slowly, just keep going one step at a time. And I don't think we should run right now because they can smell our fear. So just wait, just keep walking with me. And we were walking so slowly. And we bombed it. We ran and jumped over this balcony onto our veranda where our bungalow was. And we got away from them miraculously because it was really terrifying. That's the only time I've really felt scared of a dog.
What's round? What's that?
Oh, she's got a Zen collar on, which is basically like an inflatable, these soft cones when they're
Oh,
to try and stop them from scratching.
yeah.
So rather than get her this big cone, we got her a wee inflatable one, which she can sleep with it, and she's been scratching her ear a lot from
Right,
allergies.
okay, okay. I didn't
But
know they existed, but that's good to know.
it's really good. It's such a good thing. She's not been scratching for a good few days now, which is amazing because it was bleeding and we had to take her to the vet. And so she's much better now, aren't you? Much better with the Zen collar on. So funny. So yeah, she's just oh, I feel for her. It's so upsetting when they're in pain and they don't tell you and you just have to try and figure out what's wrong with them.
No, there's been a few times where, I mean, again, when you get a puppy, I remember when Bouncer was a puppy and he was being violently sick,
Hmm.
and you just panic because you don't know what to do. And he's had a little cough. So again, you phone the vet and you don't know what to do because they obviously can't tell you. So it's just more of a guessing game, but you get to know them so well,
Hmm.
you know when they're not themselves, don't you?
Yeah, totally. Oh my goodness. It's amazing. It's like they're the way they look at you. And Jasmine
Oh,
is such a master manipulator. Like we'll be eating dinner and she will look at Sean with these big, her eyes will be so wide and she'll be looking at the food and then looking at him and then looking at me. And I don't notice because I refuse to be taken in by it because then I'll just cave. And we've all put on some COVID weight, including our dog. And so we're trying to help her lose 4 pounds at the moment. So
okay.
we've cut out all the treats and I've half the portions that I've been giving her because we were giving her so much food.
No, because they're so adorable. So you just keep giving them treats. You can't help it. And then you can't control who else gives them treats.
Well, actually, it's funny because we were in the bank and one of the bank tellers said, "Oh, can I give your dog a treat?" And my initial reaction was, "Oh, yeah, thank you so much." But then I just said, "Look, no, thank you." And they were like, "No." And we were really trying to help her lose a bit of weight right now. So she didn't get to have the treat. And
Oh,
it's a
bless.
shame because food is her absolute be all and end all, most exciting thing in the world.
Same. I know
Yeah.
Bouncer's exactly the same. He's lying sleeping now. If you want to, I'll just.
Oh, he's like a teddy bear. He's so adorable. Yes, Jasmine is as well. Well, she's not sleeping, but hold on, let's see. Can you see?
Really?
Can you see
Oh,
her?
Jasmine.
She's just
Oh,
like snuggled on. It's funny if I put a pillow on my lap, then she'll come and sit on my lap. If it's just my knees, it's not good enough. It's not cushion enough for her.
she's a princess.
Yes. So I know you and I have both talked about possibly getting another dog to adding to the family. Have you decided that that's something you want to do at some point?
I do, but Nick and I's lifestyles are quite manic, and we've got a bit of travel under normal circumstances. So having two would be more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could, I definitely would. I don't know, maybe in a couple of years. But we will always have an Australian Labradoodle in our lives. We've
Right.
made that commitment,
That's your
definitely.
breed. That's the one that you would have.
For us, it's definitely Bouncer Doodle Do.
Oh, and I love all the photos you've been posting on Instagram. They're so adorable.
I think right now, especially, everyone just needs a little smile in their lives, don't they? They just
Yeah.
need something to have a giggle. And Bouncer gets lots of treats, and he actually, as soon as he sees the camera, he just stops and poses. I don't even really have to ask him to do very much.
Wow.
He's just such a good boy. Good boy.
Does he have any funny habits, like go round and round in circles until he gets comfortable?
He does that, and sometimes he kind of scratches to find a spot, or
Uh-huh.
got his favourite spots in the house, and two of them are actually under a curtain. So he
Uh-huh.
likes to just go and sort of bury himself under the curtain, and sometimes you don't even know where he is because he's kind of hidden himself away because he's got his own little den.
Hmm.
And then every night we get a fair amount of cuddles.
Do you let him sleep on the bed at all?
Um, no, sometimes when Nick's away, then he sneaks up, and it's our secret. But no, he's got his own bed downstairs.
Oh, wow.
Every morning he comes up to the bed to see us for morning cuddles.
Oh, morning cuddles is the best. Jasmine is so funny. We'll put her in her own bed in our bedroom and she's all calm and she's very comfortable. And then if I go into bed and say Sean's not in bed yet, if I go into bed, she'll stay in the bed. She's totally happy in her own bed. But as soon as
Uh-huh.
Sean comes to bed, she always jumps out of hers and straight onto our bed. And if the two of us are together, she actually has to be in between us. Like she can't
She's
handle not being part of it.
that's gorgeous. So who's master of Jasmine then?
I think it varies. I think Sean's the one that spoils her, and I'm definitely the disciplinarian. I mean, it's not that I don't spoil her, but I'm definitely much stricter with her than he is. I mean, he's amazing with her and she absolutely adores him, but she knows, for example, she knows that she's not allowed to go onto the kitchen worktop. She's not allowed to jump onto the kitchen worktop, the surface where all the food is and everything like that. And if I'm around, then I've trained her and I'll say off, off, off.
Mm.
And then she'll get off. She'll get her paws, off, and she'll stay on her own little bit because she has a crate and she can jump onto the top of the crate and then onto the kitchen worktop. So she knows that she's not allowed to do that, and she doesn't do it when I'm there. But if I go out, then the first thing that she does, she'll look at Sean and then she'll jump onto her crate and then onto the kitchen worktop. And she's like, right, Dad, Mum's gone. Let's do it. Let's get some treats.
That's her personality coming through.
Oh my God. He'll always tell me, he'll say, you would not believe what she does when you're not here. And it's so funny. But then we also spent lots of time training her and going like click, and then that means go onto your chair, like click, and she'll go onto her chair. So now we've trained her that if we're both eating together, then, and she wants to, instead of coming right up under Sean and sitting between his legs or trying to sniff his plate, she won't do it to mine, then one of us will get up and snap and she'll go onto her chair, which is really, it's really good, and she'll stay there.
Really clever. That's lovely.
I think she's very smart, and she knows what to do, and most of the time she'll do it, but sometimes she acts up a bit.
Well, she's what, 2, so she's still a puppy stroke teenager.
Yeah, she's
for growing up.
Well, how old is Bouncer now?
He's 7.
Oh, I didn't realize that. He's 7. I can't believe it. He still seems like such a puppy as well. He's just so adorable.
I know.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, yeah, we've been taking her to the doggy park a little bit more now, but she's during the forest fires and Corona a few months back, we weren't taking her outside as much. And she's very, very nervous around other dogs sometimes, especially the little ones. She's fine around bigger dogs that are very docile and don't bother with her. But the little yappy dogs that come right up to her and bark at her, she's like, get away from me. So I took her to the doggy park last week, and she just sat on the bench beside me the whole time. She didn't want to interact. So I'm just kind of building that up again for her.
Yeah, she'll just need to be socialized again, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, she's very, very nervous at the best of times, very quiet, very nervous. And I think she prefers people to dogs. I think she's that kind of dog.
Do you know much about her history then?
We got her from this lady who had 2 kids, and they had a whole litter, and Jasmine was, I think, the youngest one, and all the puppies had been given away, and Jasmine had been given away, but then brought back. And when we met with her, she said to me, she's a really anxious dog. She really needs a lot of one-on-one attention. And she also has a lot of energy. So she needs to be able to like run around a lot and get that out of her system. But she really needs one-on-one attention, because she was the dog that got the least attention out of all of them. So she's definitely, I can see that. I do think that if we got another dog, she would be really sweet to it, because she's very sweet natured. But I think she's really enjoyed having the 2 of us to herself.
I'm sure.
Yes. What's your earliest memory of just having an interaction with a dog?
Earliest memory? Not an earliest memory, but a very strong memory that I bonded with 2 dogs was a couple checked into a hotel that I was working in, and they moved into the hotel for 3 months. And they had 2 little white, fluffy, gorgeous dogs. And at first I wasn't that fussed. I was like, oh, it's only a couple of dogs. But every day I got to see the dogs. They would be Maltese Terriers. And I got to see them and I got to know them, and I actually fell in love with them. And I thought, oh my goodness, I've got this connection with these dogs. And I think that was probably my first memory of falling in love with dogs. And when they checked out, I really missed them. Yeah.
It is amazing how there's certain dogs that you really connect with. My landlord in Glasgow, Ian, when I was living in Glasgow waiting for my green card to come through, had Jack. And Jack was this, I think he was a mix for sure, like a black lab with also...
Lurcher and Jack?
Lurcher, did you say?
Jack met Bouncer, right? Remember?
Yes, that's right. Or maybe he had like a bit of Alsatian in him. He had a bit of like one of these hunter dogs in him as well, but he was a real like teddy bear as well, like so adorable. And we just had this very strong connection. And when I first moved into Ian's flat, I was in the big master room at the top, and Jack would come into the room every single night. And I thought it was maybe because it was once Ian's room. But then when I moved down to another room downstairs, I thought that Jack would have then stayed upstairs and had his space, but he then came into my room every single night. And so we just developed this very, very close bond, and we were with each other every single day. And I just felt like when I spoke to him, you know, when they kind of look at you and then blink slowly, or they just kind of lick their lips when you're talking to them, and you can tell that
Hey.
they're, yes, yeah, move their head,
Oh,
and they're listening to you. I remember Bouncer doing that. He used to always put his head to the side.
he still does. He still
Yeah.
does. You have a conversation with him and he's kind of looking at you and smiling and oh, he's just adorable. He's sound asleep now.
Oh, does he need a lot of exercise?
I would say he needs a really good run around at least once a day.
Hmm.
Um, and then he has his kind of playtime in the house where, he's got 150 toys and, you know, when he wants to play because he brings a toy to you and drops it at your feet and
Yeah.
he loves to get chased and he loves chasing you. So we just chase each other around the living room and then it tires him out and then he just, it gets to a certain point at night, like now, it's what, 10 to 10 UK time.
Uh-huh.
And he's ready for bed. He's so tired.
Right. And so if you throw a ball for him, will he run and get it?
Oh, and bring it back.
So there's been a number of times when Jasmine does that, but sometimes we'll throw the ball and she'll look at it and look at us and be like, "Yeah, I'm not going to
What?
get it. You go get it." So funny. One of my earliest memories of a dog was this giant poodle called Jason.
Jason's such a cool name.
I know. It was like the size of a Great Dane, but it was a giant poodle. And it was a neighbour's dog. And I remember being in my parents' home. I must have been about 10 years old, maybe even younger. Maybe I was 7. I was young. And mm, I saw this giant poodle walking on the road, in the middle of the road, outside our house, outside the hall window. And I said to my sister, I said to Alex, I said, stay here for one moment. I'm going to go and get this dog and I'm going to bring him in. So I went out the front door and I brought this giant dog, which felt even bigger than anything in our lives because it was this giant, huge, very unfamiliar object in the middle of our hall. And I brought him in and I closed the door and my parents were upstairs still sleeping. It was very early on a Saturday morning. And I brought him in and I didn't know what to do because we've never had a dog before. And I said to my sister, just stay with Jason just now. I'm just going to go into the kitchen and find some crackers. So I got this whole packet of Jacob's water biscuits of crackers, and I brought them to Jason in the hall, and we were feeding him these crackers, the whole thing, one after the other. He was eating them
Oh,
all, and then just at the point that he'd finished, he immediately threw up all of it onto the middle of the floor, the hall carpet, at the same point that my mum was coming down the stairs. And she was like, "Morning, what is that? What's going on?" And she saw this big dog and all the sick on the floor. So we had to put Jason outside. I was so upset. I thought I was doing a really good deed.
poor dog. He must have been so thirsty as well, eating all those water crackers.
No, they're so dry. They're so dry for even us.
Like
I
a
mean,
challenge for a dog.
say that again.
It's like a challenge for a dog. Eat as many crackers as she can.
Exactly. Every time I get talking to or having these conscious conversations, the time goes so fast, and it's just so nice to share a little bit of our stories about what it's like for you to have a dog and what it's like for me to have a dog. And I'm sure all the other dog lovers out there will just really relate to a lot of what we're saying and just how much joy they bring and how beautiful it is to have this extra member of our family.
Absolutely. And if you don't have a dog, you should have a dog.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing you and your
Problem.
beautiful dog.
See, where is he? Bouncer.
Oh,
He's not been very sociable tonight.
he looks like he's taking up quite a lot of space. Has he grown quite a lot? He looks
Yeah,
quite long.
it's all fur.
Oh,
It's
for
all fur. Yeah, he's needing a haircut.
is it
But it's a teddy bear.
how often do you have him groomed?
Every 4 to 6 weeks.
And what does that include?
So he gets a wash, a blow dry, and a trim.
A wash, a blow dry, and a trim. That is so funny.
Actually in the groomers for about 3 hours.
Wow.
A wash, a blow dry, and a groom. Yeah.
Ah.
Because his coat's so furry. It's almost like it's furry and it's curly, and
Mhm.
it's brushed out. Like I need to brush him most nights. I have to give him a little groom. So for the groomer, it's quite time intensive. He
Oh,
hates
oh, does he hate it?
hates it. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But he's so well behaved. The groomer always says he's such a good boy because groomers do have some little yappy, snappy dogs.
Mhm.
He just takes it all in his stride, and he knows what to expect. So he's been there many a time.
That's so wonderful. I bath Jasmine once a week and we just
Oh,
put her in the bath and she's actually very good now. She used to absolutely hate it, but
uh-huh.
now she'll just sit there and she'll just let me wash her. And so I just love the feeling of her fur when she's just had a bath, and the way
No,
she smells is just the softest, most adorable thing. I just love it so much.
so nice.
Oh, so good to see you, Claire and Bouncer. And I think Jasmine's now down
Hi,
below.
Jasmine.
She's down on the floor between my legs and she's just not coming up. Let's see. Jasmine, she's definitely not moving. Thank you so much for your wonderful time and sharing of your doggy.
Take care. Bye,
Bye for
Maddie.
now. Bye.